Master Truck Driver, a well-known channel where the majority of experiences are shared from the truck with its audience. He often records videos showcasing his daily challenges and adventures. But on the night of September 12th, 2023, something happened that took many by surprise. As usual, he was in his truck when suddenly two loud knocks hit his truck's window, as if someone was trying to get his attention.
What? What is this?
He paused for a moment, looked outside, but saw nothing except complete darkness. He assumed it might have been an animal or a natural sound, so he ignored it. However, less than 2 minutes later, the same sound repeated. Now, feeling both curiosity and concern, he grabbed his flashlight and stepped out of the truck to investigate.
Fuck.
The beam of his light illuminated the surrounding parking lot, but there was no sign of anyone. Despite finding nothing, an uneasy feeling lingered, so he returned to his truck, locked the doors, and tried to come up with a logical explanation for what had happened. Although the rest of the night passed in silence, an unsettling sensation stayed with him until morning. What could have caused this? Despite years of experience in the profession, he had never encountered such an incident before. Some believe it could be an unexplained phenomenon, while others think someone might have been trying to scare him. Adventures with Wes is a channel known for its adventurous explorations and dangerous travels. But in this video, Wes and his team decided to investigate an underground tunnel that was associated with disturbing stories. Local residents believed the place had a dark past, and there was even a reported incident where a person emerged from the tunnel severely injured, with their body covered in blood. The path leading to the tunnel entrance was tough and exhausting. The muddy ground, dense vegetation, and a strong decay-like odor made the environment unbearable. The swarming flies made the situation even more intolerable.
Yo, check that bike!
Wow. Oh, I've been stung, man.
Check that bike!
Wow. Rusty.
Wow, guys, that is an old school bike right there.
Sniffy this or what?
Despite the poor conditions, they decided to proceed with caution. The deeper they went into the tunnel, the stronger the foul smell became. Suddenly, they noticed something in the water, wrapped in something and floating on the surface. At first, they thought it was just trash, but as they got closer, they discovered a horrifying truth, a decaying body. The sight before them was shocking. An unbearable stench filled the air, and the swarm of flies indicated that the remains had been there for a long time. The shock of the scene made them quickly turn back. Terrified by what they had seen, they decided to exit the tunnel as fast as they could. They carefully made their way toward the exit, trying to avoid slipping on the slippery path. After exiting, they contacted the police, reporting the exact location and what they had observed. They were still in shock, reflecting on the events that had unfolded. The tunnel, once associated with mysterious stories, had now become a real and terrifying place due to their discovery. When the police arrived, the team left the site, knowing that this experience would remain in their minds forever. Uncharted Travel is a channel known for exploring abandoned locations around the world. It often ventures into remote and dangerous areas, pushing the boundaries of the unknown. On November 1st, 2019, the channel released a video that shocked many viewers.
Isolated prison in the middle of nowhere in Canada. I'm going to be going alone, and I'm going to be staying the night.
One of its most thrilling adventures was a journey to the abandoned Camp Bison prison in Canada. To reach this eerie location, the YouTuber had to hike for 2 hours, facing challenges such as the risk of encountering bears and mountain lions, a journey more suited for seasoned adventurers than ordinary travelers. Camp Bison was built in 1958 and once housed around 850 inmates. It was a self-sustaining facility, producing its own food and generating its own energy. However, in 1975, due to security concerns and lack of maintenance, it was permanently shut down and has remained abandoned ever since. The site is extremely difficult to access, and only the most daring explorers can make their way inside. Upon arriving at the prison, the YouTuber began exploring its various sections, including the abandoned cells and hallways. He decided to spend the night in the old dining hall, believing it to be the safest area in the building.
I believe. I thought they were cigarettes at first, but they're actually paint bullets. Like you'd use them as like mock ammunition.
However, as night fell, the atmosphere grew heavy and eerie. At first, he heard faint, unidentifiable noises, which didn't seem alarming. But soon he realized he was not alone.
An animal, I don't know. Of course now it's... Did you hear that? I hope that mic picked that up. Okay, let me get my shoes on.
It quickly became evident that several coyotes had approached the area. What initially sounded like distant calls were now much closer, and the animals were boldly moving toward his tent. The coyotes began circling the tent, gradually closing the distance. Realizing he couldn't just wait, he grabbed a knife and flashlight, then suddenly burst out of the tent, making noise to scare them off. The tactic worked momentarily, scattering the animals. But before long, they returned, this time even bolder than before.
On the second floor, beneath me. Oh my God. There's a pack of coyotes out in the woods over there. Let's just hope to God they don't come up here.
Ultimately, the YouTuber decided to move his camp to the prison rooftop, hoping to stay out of the coyotes' reach. He later described this as one of the most terrifying experiences of his life, as he felt completely isolated, with no connection to the outside world, and in a situation where he was being hunted. With the sunrise, a striking contrast emerged: the breathtaking beauty of nature versus the fear he had endured the night before. This journey highlighted that urban exploration and abandoned site adventures require not only excitement, but also courage, resilience, and mental preparedness. The video's release sparked widespread reactions, ranging from admiration for the YouTuber's bravery to discussions about the real dangers of solo adventures in such places. Would you ever dare to experience something like this? On September 1st, 2022, Kevin, the popular content creator behind the YouTube channel KS Blog, where he shared his exciting camping experiences and love for photography, decided to head to the peaceful hills of North Shropshire. He expected the trip to be a calm and enjoyable experience, much like his previous journeys. However, what happened that night completely surprised him. After preparing his vehicle for the night and having a simple meal, Kevin decided to take a walk at sunset. He grabbed his camera and captured the beautiful golden hour scenes while enjoying the sunset. As night fell and the air grew colder, he returned to his shelter and prepared to rest. After a short time watching television, he decided to sleep early to wake up at dawn for the sunrise. But his sleep was suddenly interrupted.
And a sprinter, I think, now the other side. But basically, you can hear now. I don't know if you can hear this. But yeah. the car, the keys. It's been shaken. Now, I think basically it is there's sheep here as well as there's horses. So I don't know. But yeah.
He heard unusual noises from outside his vehicle. Curiosity and concern led Kevin to begin recording these strange sounds. What made this even more terrifying was when his vehicle shook, as if some unknown force was moving it from outside. Terrified, Kevin decided to stay inside and not step out of the vehicle. After a while, everything returned to silence, but Kevin's mind remained troubled. He spent the rest of the night in anxiety, constantly thinking about what could have caused this event. With no clear answers, this mysterious experience was forever etched in his memory as one of the scariest nights he would never forget. On November 14, 2022, the channel Exploring with Fighters released a video documenting an adventure of camping in the mysterious Epping Forest. Located between London and Essex, England, this forest has become one of the most enigmatic destinations for adventurers due to its mysterious history, old criminal cases, and frequent reports of strange occurrences. When the team arrived at the location, they set up a temporary camp, using thick blankets to combat the cold and starting a fire to keep warm and cook their food. However, the silence of the night didn't last long. Suddenly, an object was thrown toward their tent, which terrified them. At first, they tried to rationalize the event, assuming it might have been a falling branch. But they soon realized that there was no wind and no other natural cause to explain such an impact.
It went into it.
Oh! What's that?
Can you hear that walk around? What's that?
Minutes later, unusual sounds echoed from deep within the forest, breaking branches and clear footsteps indicating that something or someone was circling their camp. The feeling that something invisible was following them grew stronger by the second. The camera they had set up outside the tent captured a terrifying scene. Something slowly approached the tent, proving they were not alone at that location. Although they ended the night without any further incidents, the experience left them with heightened tension and unforgettable memories. The sudden throwing of an object toward the tent, accompanied by strange noises, caused the explorers to spend the rest of the night in vigilance and fear. Epping Forest, previously known for its dark past and reports of unexplained events, once again proved why it is considered one of the most mysterious and haunted locations in England. James from the By the Curb channel is known for his videos about life on the road, camping in abandoned places, and the unexpected events that occurred during his travels. He has been living in a van for a long time, documenting his adventures and sharing them with his audience. During this time, nothing had truly scared him, until that fateful night. After parking his van in a remote area and preparing to rest, a loud noise from outside suddenly jolted him awake.
On the front, we follow with the Britain. We don't follow with the Britain and on the back. Did not work, no one. I'm not the third door. I'm not the private rig. I'm not a first English footballer. I'm not a reef. I don't know what it means. You see when you pull on the...
Anxiously, he pulled back the curtain, and a chill ran down his spine as he saw a face staring directly at him. Without hesitation, he grabbed his camera and started recording. Outside the van, an unknown man was silently walking around, muttering something unintelligible under his breath. Suddenly, the man approached the window and wrote something on the glass. James, frozen with fear, closely watched his every move, ready to react if necessary. However, the stranger did nothing more than wander around the van. This unsettling situation lasted for about half an hour. Eventually, the man slowly disappeared into the darkness of the night. Yet James couldn't shake the feeling that he was still in danger. The only thing separating him from the mysterious figure was the tinted glass of his van. The sense of unease kept him wide awake. He remained on high alert until sunrise, listening intently for the slightest sound. Life on the road may be full of freedom and excitement, but sometimes it also has a dark and unsettling side. YouTuber Mike Corey, the fearless explorer and creator of the Fearless and Far channel, is known for his daring adventures and extreme challenges. On November 13, 2021, he uploaded a video on his channel documenting his journey to one of Turkey's most terrifying locations, the infamous Devil's Castle. Mike's journey began with excitement and energy. His goal was to explore the ancient ruins of Devil's Castle, a fortress with 2,500 years of history, and to set up camp beneath its towering walls. As the sun set, Mike quickly pitched his tent near the fortress walls. Everything seemed to be going as planned, with typical camping activities unfolding. However, subtle signs of unease began to appear, clues that he had no idea would foreshadow the terrifying events to come.
I don't have my head torch. My head torch is one of the most important things I put in my backpack. It's always there. Always. And it's not there today. I remember putting it in, maybe back at the beginning of the castle when I put my bag down.
Suddenly, the sharp crack of gunfire shattered the silence of the night. Without time to gather his belongings, he grabbed a flashlight and ran into the darkness, driven by adrenaline and fear.
Guys, someone came with a gun and fired shots at the castle. They're firing shots at me.
Amid the rocky terrain, Mike managed to contact a local friend who immediately alerted the authorities. When the police arrived, the truth was revealed. The local villagers had mistakenly assumed that someone was tampering with the fortress's lighting system and, in their suspicion, mistook Mike for a vandal. Upon identifying Mike's rental vehicle and inspecting minor damages near the castle's entrance, the police initially saw him as a serious threat. However, after some time, the misunderstanding was resolved, and the situation returned to normal. Mike's adventure at Devil's Castle became an experience he would never forget, from the thrill of exploring ancient ruins to the sheer terror of fleeing through the night. This journey proved that every adventure carries its own risks and unpredictable challenges. Exploring abandoned mines and unusual places, an adventure channel focused on eerie and abandoned locations decides to investigate the Horton Mine in Nevada. This place, shrouded in numerous legends, has always attracted explorers. As soon as he arrives, a mysterious and unsettling feeling takes over. The atmosphere feels unusual, and the further he goes, the more intense the sensation becomes. He moves deeper into the tunnel and looks back, but suddenly one of the chains begins to move for no apparent reason. There's no breeze to explain the motion. The deep darkness of the mine, combined with the sense of something invisible, makes the atmosphere feel even heavier. The unease grows stronger with every passing moment, and he decides to leave without hesitation. The release of this video online causes a stir, and many people start discussing it.
And obviously something is making the chains swing, so time to get the hell out of here. a lot of water everywhere. And there's a shot looking back towards the entrance.
A year later, due to the intense interest from viewers and the ongoing debates surrounding the video, he decides to return to the Horton mine to determine whether his previous experience was merely a hallucination or if something truly strange exists there. This time, he ventures deeper than before. Suddenly, a sharp coldness surrounds him, accompanied by a strange sound, as if something invisible in the darkness is watching him. He pauses for a moment, trying to locate the source of the unexpected chill, but deep in his mind, he knows that some abandoned mines only hold remnants of the past, while others may conceal darker secrets. Without probing further, he turns back and heads for the exit. Sometimes some explorations aren't worth risking one's life for. Grizzly Gas, a well-known YouTuber with a passion for exploring abandoned places, always brings along his loyal dog Fendi. In one of his latest videos, which caught the attention of many viewers, he decided to camp in a forest near his home, a place surrounded by eerie stories and dark legends. With curiosity driving him forward, Gas ventured into the forest, unaware that he was on the verge of a terrifying experience.
A creepiness to this place. Just... it's just a log.
As he recorded for his followers, an unsettling feeling began to creep over him. A thick fog wrapped around the trees, and the heavy silence of the night made the atmosphere even more haunting. After some time, he reached an open clearing and quickly set up his tent before the darkness fully consumed the surroundings. Everything seemed calm until a mysterious sound shattered the silence. It wasn't the growl of a wild animal. It sounded more like whispers, human whispers. But in this remote area, who could possibly be out there? Gas's heart began to race. He hesitated, unsure whether to stay inside the tent or find a way out.
I don't feel like stopping here if there's shooting going on.
Moments later, a gunshot echoed through the forest. There was no more room for doubt. Someone armed was nearby. Without hesitation, Gas knew he had to leave. He hurriedly packed his gear, trying to make as little noise as possible, but the dense fog limited his visibility. Finding his way back to the main path became increasingly difficult. Every unfamiliar sound could be a hidden threat, and every shadow seemed to conceal something far more sinister than he had anticipated. Just then, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night. Gas, frozen in fear, stopped recording and focused entirely on escaping. His video abruptly ended. Later, in an interview, he revealed that he had reported the gunshots and screams to the police. Fortunately, he managed to escape the forest unharmed. However, to this day, no one knows exactly what happened that night. Did he really encounter dangerous strangers, or was something far beyond this world lurking in the darkness? Tucker, a well-known YouTuber always in search of the unknown, was exploring a campsite when he stumbled upon an unexpected discovery deep in a lake hidden within the forest. After spotting a submerged vehicle, Tucker grabbed his GoPro to capture footage of the scene. Initially, he left the area but later returned with the police. This discovery sparked curiosity about how the car ended up in the lake. Tucker's decision to report it could help uncover the truth behind this mystery. YouTuber Matt, the owner of the Airborne Pirates channel, is known for his adventures on the open seas, dangerous challenges, and thrilling camping experiences. But this time, a trip that was supposed to be peaceful and uneventful suddenly turned into a serious challenge. A massive storm was approaching the island. Winds reached 50 kilometers per hour, and conditions were getting worse by the minute. Matt decided to stick to his plan, but the wind kept growing stronger and stronger. Despite the harsh conditions, he was determined to spend the night outdoors. As the powerful winds howled around him, he hurried to set up his tent. Once he finished, he took shelter inside and started preparing a meal for himself.
Aye, They might not look like much, but just what you need after a bit of a stomp up the hill. Just check the wind outside, currently 60 mile an hour, gusts of 60, sitting around about 40, and then it just picks up. But the bomb shelter's pretty good. I'll go out and check all the guy lines shortly as well, now that I've bedded it in a bit and the winds have picked up.
As time passed, the wind intensified, shaking the tent violently. The situation became even more tense. One wrong move could destroy his shelter or lead to something far worse. In the middle of the night, a fierce gust of wind jolted him awake. The storm raged outside, slamming against his tent while the deafening roar of the wind echoed all around him. Despite the brutal night, his tent held firm, and dawn finally arrived.
I have to check the tent out, but from what I can see, looks okay. Wow, that was insane. All night it was ripping. I'm going to make an attempt to try and make the tent up.
Camping in extreme weather conditions is always risky. If his tent hadn't been properly secured, the first strong gust could have ripped it away, turning the experience into a disaster. Fortunately, everything ended well, and Matt left the island safely with yet another unforgettable adventure to share. Subscribe and watch the next video.